Software, and today we're going to be talking about the Tom Sawyer SysML V2 Viewer. We'll be running a live Q&A at the end of the webinar. If you have any questions, please feel free during the webinar to go ahead and add your questions in the chat, and we will answer them at the end of the webinar. And if you miss anything, don't worry. We'll be sending a recording of today's webinar as soon as it's available. So today we're going to be introducing our new product, Tom Sawyer SysML V2 Viewer, which provides many benefits for systems engineering, including automatic layout for complex SysML V2 models, it's an interactive application that will allow end users to navigate the model, and this saves systems engineers from hours of time manipulating drawings to meet the demands of various stakeholders. Tom Sawyer Software is a proud member of the OMG and has been involved in the SysML V2 team for many years. And so now I'm going to introduce Santiago Leon, who is a lead developer for the SysML V2 Viewer at Tom Sawyer Software and has worked together with the team writing the SysML V2 specification since 2021. And so I'll hand over to Santiago.
Everyone. So this is Santiago. As Janet said, I've been part of the OMG specification team for a couple of years now. We're following its development. We are very excited about the possibilities of this spec, especially in regards to the differences to SysML v1, because we think that a standard API is going to be helping tool interoperability in a big way. And also having a textual notation right now is going to make a switch to a model-first approach much easier. And this enables a lot of capabilities regarding dynamic generation of diagrams or model navigation, which is what our platform provides, like tooling for visualization. Yeah, we're excited to show a bit of what we've done in this regard today.
Hey, thank you, Santiago.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So now I am going to bring over here the Tom Sawyer SysML V2 Viewer, which we have this demonstration running live. This product is available both for on-premises installation and also is available on the AWS Marketplace. And for those of you who may be in an air-gap environment, we do support that as well. So let's take a little product tour here. Here on the left side, we have a list of available projects. And the SysML V2 Viewer can view any projects which are compliant with the SysML V2 API definition. So we have the list of projects here in our SysML V2 compliant repository. We also have a couple of other tree views here defining model elements and settings. And then over here, of course, we have the diagram view, and we have many types of interactions that you can do here as far as zooming in, zooming back out, adding an overview window so that you can zoom in to a particular part of your visualization. And we also have different layout styles. So we're looking at the hierarchical layout, which shows flows and dependencies. We also have an orthogonal layout, which is going to show your visualization with horizontal and vertical edges in a more compact space. And then we have both global and incremental layout, and I'll show you the difference between those here shortly. And then down here in the left bottom corner, we have information in our inspector view. So you can select different elements and you can see how our views are synchronized. If I select an item over here, we will see that same item here in our model element tree. And you see how we can select different elements. We'll go to different parts of the tree. You can click here on the tree as well, and of course be taken to that part in the diagram if it is currently in the visualization. And then the inspector view is going to show us details about that particular element. Okay. So let's navigate through this particular model, which is for part of a vehicle definition. So again, we're looking here at hierarchical layout, which is showing us flows and dependencies. And over here, we have the different model elements. So we are able to see all of the items here in that we have complete for the model, or we can collapse the tree and we can individually open some of these particular elements as you need for your navigation, or you can open everything, such as this. All right. We also have search available. So let's look for a clutch item, a specific clutch item. And so we see that two items related to the clutch have pulled up here in our search, and we are going to go to this particular item here, this clutch port. And so you can see how when I selected that item in the search, we were taken to that item both in the tree view and also in the diagram view. The search capability also works in the diagram directly. So over here, we're going to search for axle. You can see that there are several items in our model that have the word axle in it. And we're going to go to the part definition for half axle. And again, we're taken to that item in the diagram and also in the tree. Okay, so let's zoom fit. Oops. And we are going to show how to interactively load data. So we are going to go to the rear axle assembly. And we are going to right click. And we have several options here. We can load that element into the diagram, or we can load that element and all of its children as a tree or as nested. So we could show the relationship with an edge, or we can show the relationship through containment. We also have the option to load the element and all of its descendants, either as tree or nested. So we are going to load the element with all of its elements as all of its descendants with a tree relationship. And we can repeat that here as well with the rear axle. So let's do that here. We're going to load the element with all descendants as tree, and it will bring that into the item. Okay, now we also have a very handy link navigator. And so I am going to zoom in here to our vehicle. And so when we're studying a diagram, sometimes we need to know, well, where do these connections go? And we need to have a repeatable way to navigate through the structure. So we can choose this navigate links item on our toolbar, and we can click on a particular relationship, and it will take us to the other end of that relationship. And then we can right click and keep going through the different relationships that are available in different items. So let me zoom in here to, we'll go to another part of the drawing, and we're going to use this capability. And let me bring up the link navigator. So we're going to link here, and then we can right click, we can follow this edge, but I don't want to do that yet. So I'm going to right click again, and we can travel a different link up here to our top. All right. Now let's go ahead and look at a different aspect into this model. So I'm going to remove our current visualization. So I right click on the canvas and I say remove all. And we're going to go to the top level of our model definition. And I'm going to right click and I'm going to say load the element with all of my descendants as nested. And so now we have a different view into the same model, showing us those relationships with nesting, with nested relationships. So you can have multiple levels of one element being inside the other. And of course, if you have that relationship, that's showing that connection between the two elements. We also have a built-in magnifier. And so you can press the space key and you can see more details of your visualization as well. All right, so again, I'm going to zoom out. And now we're going to take a little bit more look on how do we remove elements from the visualization that we no longer need. So I'm going to go over here to our project section, and we're going to load the simple quadcopter. I'll say open project. So right now the viewer is talking to the repository, and it's going to load us that model. I think the system's taking a moment because I have the WebEx running. Okay, and so we are going to load elements related to this strut. And so I can load elements, as we were seeing earlier in the tree. We also have those same capabilities to load directly from the diagram. So I'm going to load all the descendants as tree. So interactively brought those into the drawing. And we can individually remove items from the visualization. And this does not remove items from the model itself. So I can say remove selected, and it removes just that item. Or I can say select this item and remove all of the descendants of it. Or I can right click anywhere on the canvas and say remove all. Okay, very good. All right, and I'm going to go back to this first project here for a moment, and we're going to take a look at the different layout capabilities again. So here we see that hierarchical layout that's showing us flows and dependencies. And we see that top to bottom type of relationship. But sometimes that's not what we want to see or to show to our stakeholders. And so we have an option to lay out from left to right. So I'm going to go to the settings and choose left to right. And we apply the layout. And you see how it will automatically update for us to have a different direction of our flow in our model. And then again, we can use our magnifier to see more details. Okay, so let's go back to the top to bottom layout. And so our visualization is ready to go here. But let's say that we wanted to have a slightly different layout. This wheel element that we have here, we want it to be to the left. And so the SysML v2 viewer provides incremental layout, meaning that you can make some updates to the drawing and then press the layout button and the drawing will be cleaned up for you. So let's say that we want this view element to be a little bit to the left. So we can drag it over there and then we can click the incremental layout button and it will clean up the drawing for us. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to bring over another example that I had ready to go for us, and that's about adding color. So if you have a project that has user-defined keywords that are in the source file of your model, you can also customize the diagram by adding colors. So let's take a look and see how that works. So I have opened this other model here. And you can see how we can choose the keywords. And we have a color picker here where you can choose many different colors that are available or enter an RGB code or pick some predefined colors. Here I'm going to pick red because we're making a color for failure. And you can see once I pick the color, we have updated the visualization over here on the left side to show those different colors. So we have that capability as well. And we also have documentation, which is built directly into the viewer. So I'm going to show that here as well, continuing from that addition of color that we were just doing. So we click the documentation button and it takes us directly to our documentation that tells us about the capabilities of the viewer as well as how to interact with it. Okay, very good. We also have questions about what if we have a SysML v1 model? And so we do have Tom Sawyer Model-Based Engineering, which is a product that works with the Magic products, Magic Draw, Cameo, and Teamwork Cloud to provide interactive visualizations of the SysML v1 models. And so let's take a quick look and see how this works. So to clarify, this Tom Sawyer Model-Based Engineering product, this is one that we've had for several years now. This is a separate product from the SysML v2 viewer, but we do get questions from people who maybe have some SysML1 models for some projects and SysML v2 models for other projects, and we can support you with these two different products in that situation. Okay, so let's take a look and see how it looks. So we have a block definition diagram here, and we also have an internal block definition diagram, which we automatically generated from an element in our block definition diagram. We provide the support of nested drawings or the ability to put elements inside of a block as well. Then we have the synchronized tree and table views like we saw in the SysML v2 viewer as well. All right. Thank you for joining us today. In today's webinar, we discussed the benefits of the Tom Sawyer SysML v2 viewer. We discussed how to open projects, to visualize and navigate different models, how to incrementally load model data, both with nesting and with tree relationships, and also how to add color to visualizations. The SysML v2 viewer can view models from any SysML v2 API compliant data repository and is available both for on-premise installations as well as being available on the AWS Marketplace. So you can contact us today at tomsawyer.com to find out more about the SysML v2 viewer or to start your free trial. We also do have an academic program as well. So please reach out to us to find out more about the SysML v2 viewer or for Tom Sawyer Perspectives, which is our graph technology platform that we used to build this SysML v2 viewer. So we'd be glad to meet with you and discuss further.